Hey, I got born yesterday from this year's batch. Unfortunately, year old born yesterday from 2023 might be hanging around, so look closely. They don't say it on the label, I wish they did. But it should look kind of hazy, and on this bottle, the date's all messed up, but it should say September 30th of this year. And right now it's October 15th. So that's, almost 2 weeks old. Pretty good, I would say, for getting it across the country. Would be cool if it was even fresher. But so Born Yesterday is one of the few nationally distributed wet hop beers. Really confusing. This says fresh hop ale on here, but they get the hops from the Pacific Northwest to their California brewery in less than 24 hours from picking with no drying or anything like that. So they retain a bunch of hop oils and chlorophyll and very volatile aromatic compounds that you lose when you dry hops. And yeah, every single beer except special beers made in the late summer, early fall harvest time are made with dried hops. They might use pellets, they might use whole cones, but they are dried or else they would go bad very quickly. And I guess they did do this beer in 2021, I think. And maybe not 2022. They did something else called Contents Under Fresher that wasn't as good. I smelled this the second I opened it. It's Lagunitas' best beer by far. They've been doing it for quite a while. And it's, national distribution. They just got it at the shop I went to near Boston today. I'm very happy to see it there. And it's not that bad. It was $12.50 for a 6-pack, and right now there's a Lagunitas rebate. If you buy two 6-packs, $5 off. So get this beer. It's the only wet beer that you can get for essentially like $20 a 12-pack, I would say. And it's always a little bit hazy, hazier than most Lagunitas beers. Some years it's been a little more hazy, but you can see it's got a definite haze. You can sort of almost see my finger through it. It's not quite, New England murky, but it's up there. 7.2% alcohol they use. On the bottle, they don't tell you what hop varieties. On the package, the 6-pack holder, and it's funny that they use bottles for this still, not cans. It says Citra, Simcoe, Mosaic, and HPC 586, I think, which that one is now has a name. It's called Crush. And it smells good. It's definitely a little bit sweet, but that's sort of the Lagunitas style. And it's it's very fresh, and it just has more bright tropical juicy citrus notes than any other Lagunitas beer, especially because this is the one where it's easier to find this fresher if you look for it in the fall than any other Lagunitas beer anytime. It smells like actual pineapple and peach and orange. And if you can get really, really fresh wet hop beers, they have this special perfumey, chlorophyll-y, rosy note, kind of watermelony. This one I'm not getting it as much. Maybe a little more in the flavor. I mean, it's in there. It's melony. Well, that's what I've been noticing about the wet hop beers I got this year. Yeah, it smells really good. I would say it's more fruit, more like classic tropical citrus fruit rather than the melony notes. Yeah, but there's a little bit of a dank thing, a little bit of a green thing, but maybe it's lost some of that sort of stuff already. But it's just super duper juicy, bright, and fruity. Their yeast strain is definitely one of the more fruit ester forward than I guess compared to most like California West Coast breweries. And it's always been that way. But I'm not noticing it too much in this because the the hops are just the combination of the hops. The yeast is really just supporting all the fruitiness from the hops. It's got some substantial feel, a little bit sweet, almost syrupy, but it's not thick, super, thick like a murky IPA. Though it does have a full enough body to make it seem, it's juicy, I would say. Quite drinkable. It does have some bitterness too. Now, I don't know if they list any IBUs. It's probably really hard to calculate IBUs for a beer like this because the wet hops have so much more, liquid and water in them than dried hops that have very little. But it seems like Lagunitas has figured out how to make this beer really good every year and make it kind of juicy, whereas most breweries, especially out in New England, there's no, like, Trillium isn't making wet hop Fort Point Pale Ale, and there isn't, wet hop Julius. Breweries aren't really kind of trying to make their flagship super hazy beers, New England IPAs, with these hops, because I think, it might be really hard to do that, to replicate it, to make it work in the first place. Noticing a little bit of booze in there, but now, yeah, I'm getting some melon. It's kind of a boozy melon. It feels a little bit bubbly, almost a little bit coarse. It's got lots of hop oils in there for sure. It dries out your tongue with all the hop oils, even though it's not a huge amount of bitterness like traditional boiled hop bitterness. It definitely has some of that going on. And someone on tap reviews, like, there aren't not many people have checked this in yet. But one person said he doesn't like that scorched caramel malt flavor, and a lot of West Coast beers use a little bit of some kind of caramel or crystal malt, but there's so little in that. Like, you can see this has a little bit of color to it, but I'm not tasting much caramel malt. It's maybe when these get old you'll taste it, but it's right now just getting more melon now. Melon, all kinds of melon. Maybe this is more cantaloupe than watermelon. And pineapple. Maybe passion fruit. And very sweet orange tangerine, I guess maybe you'd say. Sunny D almost, I guess. But it's not all just sweet fruit. It does have some danker notes, for sure. Some sticky icky, but I'm not getting as much chlorophyll out of this. But it's not letting me down. Super, special beer. Great deal. Go buy it as soon as you can. It's probably almost everywhere. This is giving me more of that drying out, kind of almost like tannic-like feel on the tongue that I remember from past years. Maybe I had it. I should look at my old reviews, but it's just drying out my tongue, the roof of the mouth. The oils, hop oils, the bitter hop oils are sticking around, and it's a complex flavor, and it lingers with the sticky, icky, dank stuff. Great beer. This is like. And the head wasn't that great, and the feel's a little bit bubbly. That's probably one thing that's hard to do with these beers is know how to get the right feel and the right head retention with all that liquid in there. But it's not really ruining the experience. So I'd give this still like 4.6. Just because in terms of flavor and aroma for a wet hop beer, I haven't had anything that really beats this, but I haven't been to the Pacific Northwest in October and September. But that's it. Bye.